the number was 40, and this is the guy who didn't guess more than 2. All right, let's roll here. So that one went much smoother than the first time. Okay, very good. This is the second time now playing for Team Black. CR. Okay, CR Chessman. And my opponent is saying that the stream is muted. Muted. Oh my goodness. That's like the how many fumbles am I going to have? Oh my goodness, the stream just started and I am tongue-tied with every other word. Nimzo-Indian land. Let's ask that bishop a question. What are you going to do? I feel like yeah, I'm pretty sure I played this in the last Simo. Let's just pin that knight. I might want to pile up on him too. Whoa, really? Could do this. Let's just chop that guy up. Really? Now that's different. Alright, my opponent gave me their dark square bishop. What's my light square bishop doing? My queen has a lot of lateral movement now. Could I get this in? B6 and then bishop B7? Might want to try that. This could get very violent. My goodness. This could get violent. Because A3, what do I do? What do I do? I'm a little bit scared of B6, A3, my bishop drops back. Like B4, breaking the pin in other words, and then knight B. Knight B5, eyeing these squares. Ah, man. Alright. Rook here is a candidate. I don't have a fantastic king position, so I'm doing a lot of thinking. I'm going into a think tank right now. B6, A6, knight C6. I'm gonna go for development. You know what? That last thing that I thought about before pulling the trigger on this knight move, just developing this knight right away, was the position is open and a move like A6 is too slow. Going into this preventative type of mentality. So forget about trying to watch over a silly little square. I'm not going to take the knight. I like my dark square bishop. My queen could certainly get kicked around, and I might want to actually run home. I could maybe even, yeah, I think I have to run home. Okay, B4, knight here with tempo. Oh, it looks so weird, doesn't it? My queen ran home. She's very scared, clearly. And I wonder if I'm going to establish a pawn in the center one day. Look at this tsunami of pawns. Actually, there's somebody in the Twitch chat named Tsunami of Pawns. So I need to pick up the pace. I was trying to get in H4, and let me put some pressure on this guy. My dark square bishop needs to do something. Actually, let me get out of this. I need to do B6, bishop B7. Who cares about moving my a piece that's already developed twice? Maybe I could have considered this. Knight here is going to be annoying, isn't it? Okay. I don't have a great square, then knight here. My opponent is flying. Okay, this pawn is dropping. Oh my goodness, and so is my rook. Yes, he's gone, just like that. Alright, I have to do something dangerous. I'm going to end up losing my rook. Oh my goodness, I'm dead. I'm in big trouble. I'm in very big trouble. Do you see the killer move here? You see it? Knight here, I could just take the pawn. And everything's okay. And then I have knight checks. I'm so dead. I'm so dead in this position. Waiting to see how I'm going to get hammered. Queen here was rattled off in a blink. Man, I'm so dead right here. And that wasn't the killer move, I don't think. Although that actually looks pretty good too. Wow. Let me throw a check in here. This is beyond ugly right now. This is beyond ugly. The killer move I thought was knight b5. This looks pretty good too, though. Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm going to end up having to play down a rook. But you know what? As long as I have my tricky knight around and my dark square bishop, maybe I could do something exciting. Knight b5, by the way, if I was trying to grab that pawn, the knight would have hit me with a fork on d6. This is a very ugly game. There is the potential even for c6 and the queen's on my knight. Okay, let's see if I could have let's see if I have any dynamic stuff up my sleeve. So there goes a rook, just like that, gone. I better castle, and my queen is, well, this is one of those positions where I don't really want to trade a queen. I could take this knight and then come here with check. Let's do that. Let's try and be dangerous with my knight and queen. The most deadly combination in chess. Remember that. The queen and knight tandem. Okay, are there any tricky checks? I need some tricky checks. Look at this bishop. He's loving these pawns right here. He's falling in love with the b7, the d7 pawn. He's loving it. He is loving it. Okay, this knight's ready to do this. What's this clown even doing? I need to breathe. I need to breathe, and I can't even breathe. Okay. Let's try that. Let's see what my opponent does now. Maybe I could get my queen in here still. Their queen is a little out of play to defend their king. 1 minute warning for me. 1:53. I gotta work on the clock. That is all I have. Actually, the knight is defending here. What is that? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. I got the tricky knight and the queen around. I'm on the bishop. I have to watch over these squares. This queen's out of play. Imagine that. This is one of the craziest games I've played in a while. Wow, okay. How to make sense of wild positions like this? I'm not sure. I have checks, 2 of them, and I could get a perpetual. I could get a perpetual. Give check. Okay, I could get at least a perpetual. Queen here. King here is forced. Am I missing something better? I could get a perpetual. I might need to go for that. Is there anything better? Should I try to get more? Oh, I think I have to go for the perpetual. Look at the clock. And just never look at this game again. I gotta go for a perpetual. Let's try checks. Maybe he'll go here, and that'll be mate. King here will be nice. I gotta go for the perpetual. That's the resign button. Okay, that's a draw. What a disaster. A wonderful example of how not to play. Oh, man. Let me back up. Good game. Let's go back here and look at this mess. Chess isn't always pretty, is it? What could I be doing different? Those pawns, they were, look at how they were just a giant wave on the queen side. Wow. What a lucky duck I turned out to be there, huh? Get away with the draw. My opponent could have really knocked me out. And I don't know how... I think it's the pawn structure that I'm struggling with here. Maybe I should just break this pin with g5. I need to do some more homework in this particular line. This isn't the first time that I've gotten into trouble with this particular variation, but I don't do any homework opening wise. So is this okay? I mean, I have the bishop paired. This was the other move. I didn't say it in the game, but this was the other move I was considering. And in hindsight, maybe I should have been going for this. And oh no, I should have gone for it. You know, I was blind to something here. So let me point out how I was blind. I was blind about after pawn takes. I was thinking I had to do this, but I don't. Pawn takes, if capture, I could take with my queen. The knight's still pinned. And that would have been much better. So I think structurally, just looking at particular pawn advances, that would have helped out my pieces. I wouldn't have gotten pushed around so much, for sure. D5. Establish a presence in the center. That's maybe how I could have been improving. That's just one quick thought. Instead of knight there. Now I get kicked around. Tempo, tempo, space, space, and soon enough. Oh, man. Maybe even still. Try and get something in here, but I think that at its earliest point, d5 was best. So the killer move here. Queen there was very nice. Hits the knight. Maybe the rook and the pawn. And just like that, my rook is dead. I have no coordination. After queen c7, the killer move is knight here. I have no time to take this pawn. How bad is this position for me after knight here? So bad that my queen has to go back home for a second time. Knight b5, queen back, and then you take the rook. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Knight b5, queen takes pawn, knight d6, fork. That would have been game over. How could white have done better, even at this point? Because you're still up a rook. One thing, I think, is to not grab this pawn. Who cares about winning this pawn? I think keeping this knight around, or even be in a position to get rid of this knight, because when you look at how can I possibly save this game, it's going to have to come with the coordination of my queen and knight. That's all I have even contributing in this position. So how should you finish this game off here? Keep in mind, my knight is attacking the rook and the bishop, but the bishop is defended. How about something like this? Maybe even getting in a position where you give up some material. Take out this knight. Keep in mind, you're up a full rook. And these pieces are doing absolutely nothing. So this, I think you're going maybe in a not so good direction, because I get to centralize my queen and there's too many different checks. Maybe this is still good for you to save, but it's certainly much more difficult to calculate, is it not? With all the different queen possibilities that I have. I'm pretty sure I had to take the perpetual here. I was looking at little checks like this. Queen check, king here. I don't know how to even get at him. It's tough. All right, anyhow, I think the last point to make is don't try to get more out of the position than what's really there in this position right here where I'm down a rook. I really had to just go for a draw. I was hoping, I had some hope maybe would go here and then it would be mate. Either one of these two squares, queen here, is mate. So good decision to keep going to that a4 square. All right, good game. I believe that was one of the first times, maybe the only time that we've played against one another. So good game. Good game. I learned something from that. Okay.